Hi there, this is Mahar Haddad here again. So I'm going to show you how you can work with the SAS4 radius, which is a radius I found it on the internet, which is pretty nice software that you can use it in case you want to connect it to MikroTik or also to other brands to make for you the management for the customers that you are providing for them internet service as a wireless ISP or a normal ISP. So let's go directly to see what is SAS4, and then let's start to install it and make it work to see how the installation can happen. So this is the website that you can go to it, which is snonosystem.com. And this is where you can get the SAS4 radius. Actually, I've been contacted by a lot of my students asking me how we can install and make SAS4 working. So that's the reason why I decided to do this video. So if you scroll down, you can, of course, check more information about SAS4, what it has as product, as features, and so forth, and what it can do. And over here, you have the plan. So we are going to get this one, which is free, and you get access forever. It's free, and you can use limited to 50 users. Of course, I'm doing demonstration, so I don't have even one user, which I'm going to connect to, of course, myself, just for the test. But if you are interested in more levels, then you can check each level, how many users it can provide you, and then you can make possibly contact with this company. So now directly, let's go and get the download. So we go to download, and this is the latest version, SAS4 latest version. You just click on download, and the download will start. Actually, I will stop the download because I have already made it. It's almost 1 gigabyte. So I'm going to stop it. And what I'm going to do now, after I do the download, is to go to the manual to see what we should make as the installation, like what are the requirements for the server. So what you can do, you install this ISO file, and then you can put it on a flash drive, and then you can connect it to your server, and then on the BIOS you should put to boot from that USB flash drive, and then this is an ISO file. Then it will load for you the SAS4, which is based on Ubuntu, which is a Linux based. Now I don't have a server. I'm going to use a virtual machine. I'm going to use VirtualBox to install it on it. But it's the same way that you do it, whether on VirtualBox or you do it on a server, it's the same thing. The only thing that you need to do is just you have to be sure that you have high-end CPU, not less than 4 core, 8 gigabyte of RAM, and this is how much space you have to put on your disk, and of course, internet servers. So I'm going to, as I said, use the Oracle VirtualBox. So let's create one. I will create one, and then I will call it SAS4. And over here, you should choose Linux and Ubuntu because it's based on Ubuntu. And then next. So remember the RAM, they said here 8 gigabyte. So let's move it to 8 gigabyte. So this is 8 gigabyte. And create a virtual disk now. So let's create a virtual disk just to make it virtual anything. So at this moment. And we put the size for this is 250 gigabyte. So 250. We are going to use the ISO file in a moment. So don't worry about the steps. So those are the only steps that we need to do. We go back to here to the settings. And now we go to the system. We see we have 8 megabyte. The display, we don't care too much about it. The storage. So over here, the storage, what you can do, you can just click on that one, the controller IDE, which is empty. And then you can choose the choose virtual optical. And over here we have SAS radius ISO, which we have downloaded. So I click on it, and then I will say here open. And then let's go to the other steps. Here on the network, I'm going to make it a bridge with my interface, the wireless interface, so I can reach it. All right, so that's it. That's all what you have to do. And then I will say here, okay. Very good. So now I have put it on the virtual box, and then let's start it. So click on start. And let's see if we can put it a bit bigger. Yes, so this is what I want to see. So now we need to start the installation. So I would choose English, install SAS radius, yes, enter. Normally, the installation would take a bit of time. So yeah, you have just to give it a bit of time. Don't close it, because it's gonna be running and then rebooting, and then you have to do some settings. I will show you what settings you have to do now. So just give it the time to load the components. As you can see, it's Ubuntu components that because the SAS is based on Ubuntu. So you can see it works this way, but it's straightforward. So you don't have to do a lot of things at this moment. Just wait for it until all the components are installed and everything is ready. Then what you need to do, you have to work on two things. One, to work on the time zone. You have to put the right time zone on SAS based on the time zone where you are living. That's one thing. Two, you have to make the network configuration to connect the SAS to the internet. And that's something I'm going to show you that in a moment. But let's wait for the installation of the system to be finished, and then I will come back. So after the installation has been finished, we receive this SAS Radius login. So for the login, normally you can see if you go here on, again, the documentation, they say that the login should be, let me show it to you if we can find it somewhere. Yeah, over here. So username is SAS and password SAS123. So let's do that. SAS and SAS123. So the first thing that you need to do is to make your time zone. So just time zone in my area, I'm in Europe and Amsterdam. So it's very important to put the right time zone, because in case, for example, you have a customer that you put the wrong time zone and you give him PPPoE, it may happen that he has been expired, his account, but he will remain activated because there is difference on time. So put please the right time zone on your SAS. And then the second thing we have to do is the network. So the network is that I am in. So it is the gateway is 10.0.0.1. I will put DNS 8.8.8.8 and DNS 2.1.1.1.1. Now we have to put an IP for the SAS. So this is the gateway for the SAS to be able to go to the internet. We have to put an IP. So to put an IP, because it's on the same range as on my computer. So let's do, for example, ping to 10.0.0.254 to see if this IP is available. So I can see that this IP is not available. And if I make, for example, ARP -A to check also to be sure that we don't have 10.0.0.254. So I'm going to use that IP. So on the Ethernet interface, I'm going to use 10.0.0.254. This is the IP of my SAS, and then 255.255.255.0. And then we say OK, and OK. And now the other thing that you need to do now, of course, if we look to the license, it's not yet active because we need to reboot. So I just reboot, and then I will say here, okay, very important. You should do this step to reboot the SAS, so it would take all the settings that we have just applied to SAS. So let's wait until this is back. And while doing that, let's open a ping to 10.0.0.254 to see if the SAS will reply to us. So I will put the ping over here, so it's still giving me request timeout because SAS is rebooting now, and here we go. You see, we have a reply. Very good. So now, meaning that the SAS is up and running. That means that if I go to the browser and I put 10.0.0.254, enter, here we go. So we have SAS up and running. Also here on SAS, always the username and password, also it should be shown somewhere over here that you should put. Let me see if we can find it. I know what it is, but I just want to show you if we can also find it here. Yeah, here we go. So it is admin and admin, well, after you put your IP address. So the documentation is very clear and very straightforward that helps you to find all the information. So then we go over here on SAS, and then we put admin. Admin, of course, you can choose the language that you want. So there are Arabic, English, Kurdi, Portuguese, Turkish. I'm going to use the English one, and then log in. And here we go. SAS is up and running. So the first thing that I highly advise you to do after you have SAS up and running is to update. you got this here, new software. So please click on update and then make a install update. It may happen that after you do the update, it will ask you another time for another update. So keep doing the updates until you have the recent update on your SAS. That's very required. So this is all what I wanted to show you in this first lecture, how you can do the installation about SAS. And SAS4 is a radio server, as I have said. It's very efficient, very nice, and it works perfectly, and it is very popular. So I'm going to continue this series to show you all things that we are going to do on the SAS. So how we connect the MikroTik router to it, then how we create users' profiles and users, how we can do many things inside SAS. Those things are going to come inside this playlist. So I hope that this lecture was informative for you, and I'll see you in the upcoming lecture.